In today's issue, I'm going to share with you when to send a thank you letter after an interview, how to send it, who to send it to, and how this could impact your job offer potential, regardless of whether employers respond or not. If you can replicate this thank you process or something similar, you're much more likely to reinforce transferable skills like attention to detail, follow through, and communication, as well as possibly even correct some parts of your interview that maybe didn't go so well. Unfortunately, most people don't have a solid process for making thank you letters meaningful and impactful. So, first, do thank you letters even matter? Last week, someone asked me if it was really necessary to send a thank you note or a thank you email after an interview. And there's quite some debate over this, with some individuals saying it's a waste of time because you're just adding to email clutter, and others saying that it does make a difference. So, because we all know how much I love numbers and facts, we did a study on a group of our clients and found the average response to an email thank you after an interview was around 30%, with some of our VIP coaching clients getting up to, I think, a 48% was the max response rate, although that was rare. So if no one is responding, why even send a thank you email after an interview? Well, here's 4 reasons. First, it shows your character and how you treat relationships in other situations, which may be very important for the job that you're interviewing for. 2, it can reinforce your interview, recapping some highlights and further reinforcing your written communication, follow through, and attention to detail skills. 3, you could use it to correct an error from your interview or something that maybe you wish in hindsight, I wish I would have clarified that a little bit better. And 4, it doesn't matter if anyone responds. You are only in control of your actions. So who cares? So, will a thank you letter change anyone's mind? Well, let's be clear about this. Skills land job offers, not thank you notes. But, you knew it was coming, that doesn't mean you can't reinforce those skills through a thank you letter or provide further clarification on a topic that you might have missed during the interview itself. I like to think of it this way. I've never seen anyone change their mind based on a thank you note. If your interview was terrible or you're not qualified, a thank you note's not going to change that. But I have seen people change their minds due to a lack of a thank you letter. Thank you notes show character and how you treat other situations that it might be similar. It shows your follow-up and that you can follow through and follow up with people, which may be an important skill for the job. Lack of sending a thank you could actually harm you in those situations. Actions speak louder than words. So, let's say you've decided to send this thank you letter. What do you write? Well, here's some quick tips. First, keep it short, brief, and to the point. Second, convey value. You are a person of value and you need to show this. Everyone who sends a thank you letter is going to say the same thing. Thank you for your time today. You are not everyone. You are someone unique with value to offer. Convey that. Third, convey those intangible skills like energy, personalization, communication, attention to detail, helpfulness. The way you write is just as important as what you write. Just like the resumes that I write, if you've had a resume written by me, we don't say, I've got great communication, or I have excellent attention to detail, or I'm super helpful. That's all rubbish. That's all just adjectives and fluff. We show those things through a resume. Do the same thing with your thank you letter. And 4, use your thank you letter strategically to share any last minute information or to correct something or clarify something from your interview. And lastly, check your grammar and spelling. Show thoughtfulness in everything you do. So here's a formula that could work for you. Okay? You've got the general tips, those 5 things. Here's the formula then to put it all together. First, thank them for their meeting and be specific about the opening that you discussed. 2, convey excitement about something specific that you spoke about. 3, reinforce your skills and the value they will add to the role or challenges that you discussed. And then lastly, tie in an example of how you solved that problem in the past so you can reinforce that. If you want to see all this in action, there's a link in the blog where you can download a sample thank you letter and see what all this could look like for you. trying to recall all this information to write a strategic thank you letter is going to be very challenging. In any given day, the average person is bombarded with over 10,000 messages from social media, personal connections, text messages, apps, billboards. I mean, the list goes on. This video. The chances of you remembering the necessary information to pull off a great thank you letter just 4 hours from now, even from your interview, is really unlikely due to information overload. So if you're doing in-person interviews, take a few minutes afterwards in your car and jot down some notes. Have a pad of paper and pen, something, your phone in your notes app, and jot down the notes before you even leave. If you're in a virtual meeting, just before you leave your computer, after you shut off the Zoom or whatever it is that they're using, take some notes. Some things you might want to recall later. So you could write these down. The company or the hiring manager's goals for the quarter, for the year. What are they trying to accomplish? 2, their challenges that they mentioned that stand in between them and that goal. 3, the skills that they think are going to be needed to accomplish those goals, and what an ideal candidate looks like. What are the key pieces of knowledge or abilities or characteristics that they desire in this candidate? And lastly, any points in the interview that you wished, I wish I would have elaborated more, or I wish I would have stated that more clearly, or I forgot to mention this, this would have been a much better example based on our conversation. And by the way, if you're not discussing these things during your interview, you should, okay? Because you can't take notes on them if you don't discuss them in your interview. So some free interview advice for you as well.